what are your experiences with agency representation and how they dealt with things with you personally or with others that you had to deal with, your organization might have had to deal with?
Yeah, I mean, as I say, as I mentioned earlier, my parents were, really had, no insight as to how the business worked, how anything really worked. And coming out of junior, there wasn't a draft. You were just, put on a list during my time, and so there was a local agent in Calgary that was able to answer some of those questions for me, for my parents, and help us navigate through the waters there a little bit. Um, when I started to turn pro, though, again, the agent at the time that I had some higher profile guys, or guys that were, higher picks and in that. But um, I thought, and again, it ended up, you know, um, being difficult to try to, like I just felt, and again, this was my own. Again, you're drawn to so many different influences, whether it's other players or whether it's mostly other players, and you're like, well, this guy has this agent. Is this the way to go? Because you really think in your mind, you're like, this guy will make the difference of whether I'm able to play or not. And so I ended up changing my agent at that point, and ended up going with, a uh, an agent that had a lot of the guys that I had played that were signing pro contracts. And again, so it was a lawyer out of Seattle, and truth be told, he was new at what he was doing. But he had a lot of the guys, a lot of the Kamloops Blazers had a very successful team at the time, and he represented a lot of them as well. Um, and I guess from my, like, looking back at it now, um, you know, and I ended up changing, two times after that, just based on not being, happy with my situation whether it was not feeling like I got a good opportunity, or whether I was, he got me the money, or whatever the reason was at the time. And so, it was a bit of a struggle. And so the guy that I ended up going to ultimately, after, was the guy that I felt had my best interests in mind. And it was, somebody that I still have a great relationship with today. And the reason why I said I felt that was, it was just all about my opportunity. And so, I was coming out of the American League, and had done really well, and was earning a one-way contract, which was going to give me an opportunity to play. And so he didn't, and I had three or four different offers from other club with more money, and basically he just basically said, this will give you the opportunity that you need. Then after that, then it's totally up to you as to whether you make whatever you make of that. And so, and that's always stuck with me, and I respect it. And it ended up, like, truth be told, I ended up, signing with that team, and going, and truth be told, at the time, the way it worked out, it's, what, I wasn't able to establish myself, but I really respected the fact that he made that decision for that reason. And I think that, that's, and that to me is, the underlying thing. And again, it's, the Jerry Maguire about, really caring for your clients. I really got the sense, and I can say, three out of the four guys that I had, they cared about me as a client. And three out of the four guys, you know, uh, I don't know. I mean, they probably would have been fine because ultimately, at the end of the day, it was ultimately what I realized, now and later in my career was it ended up being it's based on you. Like you'll get yourself the opportunity by what you do on the ice and the way you are and the way you conduct yourself and the relationships that you have, like your reputation and that, like it's the agent doesn't necessarily do that, but you're led to believe, and everyone's led to believe that that makes the difference. Whoever you have will get you the one spot. Like Doug talked about, Myers coming into Calgary's camp. I don't remember him. I'll be honest with you. I don't remember him at all. And now he's a top four defenseman in Philadelphia, right? So I don't know if that's but yeah, from that perspective, as far as the agent side of things, it's a and it's an important decision in who you have, because those critical, again, I said it's a battle of attrition, and you have to grind way through it, but to have somebody to be able to help you, give you that those that insight is critically important.